So there we go. I did that. So we're gonna go to Elvisnake versus Scallions.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about this one
Well,
while I'm setting this
these
up?
two, both in gold last season, almost identical scores: 11 for Scallions, 10 for Elvisnake. So basically we're exhibiting similar skill levels throughout. Certainly, Elvisnake almost never times out as spy. Gets a reasonable number of mission wins, reasonable number of spy shot, civilian shot. Very straightforward spy profile. What's a little more interesting is on the sniper side, he's one of really only a few really hard campers. People like to talk about how most snipers are mostly campers, and that's true, but he is a hard camper. He is dedicating himself to it completely, trying to get as good as possible at that, and basically just saying forget everything else. And it's working pretty well for him. Here he is competing in gold.
My God, these divisions are so ridiculously stacked with incredible players.
Yeah,
Like,
you look at this. You're right. You're like, it's Elvisnake and Scallions. You think of them as very good players, and you're like, wait, gold? Really?
yeah,
These guys could play in plat easy or higher potentially, especially on a good day. It. I was gonna say it takes a while for it to get less intimidating. It doesn't really get less intimidating at any point, though.
yeah, and this is coming from a Diamond player.
Oh, Diamond is terrifying. Yeah. By the way, abolish Diamond, everybody. My petition is still circulating. Diamond should be destroyed.
Yeah, like gold is stacked, platinum is stacked, diamond is like you don't even want to look at that. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I'm looking at these players, and even though they're technically a couple divisions below, if I were playing them, I would not take anything for granted. I would play them just as hard as I would anyone in Diamond or Plat. That's how seriously you have to take them. They can beat you. They can absolutely beat you. One thing I do want to note, while I mentioned that Elvis's profile, he plays a very clean game on both sides, very straightforward. Nothing jumps out at you as too crazy percentage-wise. But there is a little something from Scallions. On the sniper side, Scallions gives up an unusually high number of mission wins. Does not like to shoot civilians. And there is a low number of civilian shots too, but gives up mission wins in gold in Season 3 last year, about twice the gold average. 35%, very high to give up for mission wins.
Yeah, turnout, I think, like, everything bronze and up is terrifying.
This game is terrifying. I say we get into the picks and bans so we can just see where we will be terrified on today.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. When you pick and ban, what are you doing? You're deciding
where the terror lives. So we're going to start out Elvisnake going to ban High Rise any 3 of 5. Scallions banning the newest map in the game, if I can find it. There it is. Modern any 5 of 8. I'd say those are reasonable bans. What do you think?
Very, very reasonable. High Rise, one of the soft tell maps and something that a lot of people are just not all that comfortable with. And Modern, very new map, something that a lot of people just aren't all that comfortable with.
I agree. Let's see our picks. Elvisnake for the doubled map is picking the classic Courtyard any 4 of 7.
Of comfort.
Scallions picking another kind of comfort map. Library any 5 of 8 for their doubled map. The last 2 picks, first one coming from Elvisnake, that is Ballroom any 4 of 8. And finally, Scallions finishes us off with Veranda 5 of 8. So Scallions picking very big maps, and Elvisnake picking kind of the classic Courtyard and Ballroom.
Yeah, nothing too crazy there. Obviously, I mentioned Elvis, one of the few pure campers, obviously going to ban something like High Rise. It's either going to be that or Balcony. Pick your poison. Which do you feel you'd rather play on if you have to? But in this case, doesn't matter. Scallions has the same ideas about what kind of maps they want to play.
All right, and with that, I'd say we can jump right into the thing. Bam! Oh, it's so close. Damn it.
I'm sorry I made you so self-conscious.
I was self-conscious of me saying bam during everything. That's all right, so it goes.
All right.
The picks and bams, shall we call them?
Picks and bams.
I'm going to mute myself, you just, whatever.
Starting things off on the most comfortable map of all, Courtyard. I always want to call it Courtyard 2, still. Elvisnake starting things off on the spy side. Scallions on the sniper. Let's get this underway. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Hamas, obviously the Emerald Lugosi of SpyParty now.
Bam.
Bam.
Swap! Swap!
Oh boy.
Alert! Alert!
Okay, so I don't think this is gonna work. I feel like Scallions got there in time, but the test will come. Ooh!
Oh! 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 What? Oh! 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 Elvis!
Oh man, going all in on the suspicion, and just I want them to stare at me, but I want them to stare at me and say, "What was that?" long enough to lowlight me. I guess is the idea.
That was weird, and I like it.
Yeah, if you're watching and wondering what on earth is going on and why isn't this person dead, they're trying to do something so weird, frankly, below their skill level, below what the sniper knows their skill level is, so that they'll think, no way, that's the spy.
This is cool.
Yeah, well, we're going to know if Scallions memorize the statues. We're going to know whether or not this is going to work, probably when the banana bread goes off.
Indeed, indeed. We'll see just how suspicious Scallion is of Elvisnake right now.
And if you're Elvis, that's the same thing you're thinking too. You know that you don't know if you've gotten away with it yet.
Yeah.
Ooh, so I wonder if that's the idea. Seduce and fingerprint instead. Never give them the banana bread cue.
Oh god, this game is so cool already from Elvis.
So here's what's interesting. That is riskier if you got away with the swap. It's less risky if they suspect it.
Second white though on the flirt, so we're only at 63. We are going to need some sort of green test on this next flirt if we're going to make this happen.
And that could really matter with a minute left. Oh, I don't.
Hello, Ambassador. I'm going to not right-click right now. That would be bad.
I would say, particularly because you already have a fingerprint, you should be just perfectly happy making the move and possibly touch something else or put that briefcase down.
Also, we had a drink there, so we couldn't have bugged either way. Here's the last flirt coming off, but it's not because he didn't green it.
Well, it's 97. That must feel a little better, right? That didn't hurt you too much.
It's not 99.
It's not 99. We'll take it.
We knew this could happen.
And if you're Elvis, oh boy, you could feel this game, a game that you thought maybe you were in a great position to win, slipping away.
Here's the contact coming off. There it is. Do we die?
I think he's gonna.
Don't die.
I think maybe not yet.
The bad shot comes off, and Elvis, despite not hitting the flirts,
wow,
Scallions knew when he had to take the shot. He just didn't know who the bullet belonged to.
That's genuinely surprising.
Turns out, it wasn't the plane twin.
Yeah, that's really something. I'm genuinely surprised. I really thought there was plenty of time there. But it's important to note that was a big risk. That was a big risk on Elvis's part. I like Elvis's game plan more than the execution. The game plan was silent game, no banana bread. And even if a sniper knows, even if they know intellectually that they don't have to banana bread, that they could fingerprint, that they could seduce, especially when they got the hardtail by already potentially, even if they know that, it's so hard after thousands of games to forget that muscle memory of using the banana bread as a prompt, as a reminder that they can be done. It's so hard to shoot without hearing it, even if you know they might not need it. It's a very powerful thing. You're fighting against thousands of games of habit there. So I like the decision very much to try to finish without the banana bread. But I also really respect that at the end, when it was just obviously not going to happen, when that flirt didn't get to 100%, Elvis has to make a very difficult decision to take that risk rather than try to chase things down late. It ends up being the right choice.
Yeah.
But it was a risk. I mean, it would have been much safer to fingerprint and flirt right there. That would have been an automatic win, as we can see. And I think there's a decent chance that Scallions was really thinking hard about who to shoot there.
And like, even though it didn't work out, kudos to Scallions for taking a shot there, because, like, if we had been a couple of inches closer on that first flirt, that's the moment where you have to take a shot because the game ends. It's very difficult to develop that kind of game sense as a sniper. The only way you can do it is through practice.
Yeah, that's like what we like to call it, game sense. And that's actually the flip side of what I just mentioned, that those thousands of games of muscle memory that make you so susceptible to a silent game, the flip side is they also give you a really good sense of when the spy's probably going to finish, even when you shoot the wrong person. So there's an upside and downside to all that practice.
Either way, let's get into the next one. Here we've got Scallions on the spy side, Elvisnake on the sniper for round 2. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Very interesting, by the way. So Scallions, does not shoot many civilians, only 17% last year, but 2 of them were on Courtyard too. Very strange. You don't see that very often.
Indeed, indeed. Starting things off with a relatively close green for 50% on the nose. And I just realized this character has one hell of a swagger.
Yeah, fair to say. Fair to say. And by the way, I'm going to give away the clickbait earlier. Taft, one of the fastest characters, it turns out. I think maybe the fastest it was, in fact.
Yeah. That swagger grants him speed.
I think it's one of those things where the loop of the walking animation tricks us into making decisions about the overall speed, even though they're not the same thing.
Second flirt, not able to hit the green, so up to 84% off of the second. 2 minutes left to play.
Not really bad so far, but you got to keep moving in this case or you're going to run out of time quick. And Scallion's very determined not to run out of time. Ooh, I don't know about that. That sort of bump on the edge of that conversation.
Well, once that path redirect. Minute and 30 left. Still no completions. Still no statue visit. This is starting to get a little bit worrying. Scallions is behind the curve on the spy side here. Now stepping into statues for Dem Dare Inspects, but we still need not only the hard tell, but both the soft tells as well. This is going to be real tight on time.
Yeah, so you see people trying to get these two flirts in maybe in the beginning of the game, but if they try to do it with a timer flirt or something, next thing you know, you look up, it's a minute 20 left, and you've only gotten the one mission done sometimes.
There's the flirt, there's the contact, there's the green purloin, it all to back. There's the take from Morgan Freeman, sees that it's not there, and shoots the green test victim. And ladies and gentlemen, Elvisnake is not able to pull it off.
At 48 seconds, one mission is done. At 33 seconds, the game is over. With a mission win countdown going.
That's so cool.
Boom, boom, boom. Now, granted, the flirt was mostly done.
Fast.
Yeah, it does. I mean, so the party's not usually going to make it quite that easy for you. But when it does, the question is, do you take advantage? Scallions does. Scallions is moving around a lot, but you can see why. You see a conversation with the seduction target and the double agent. You call the waiter over if you need to, and just bam, bam, bam. Done. Mission win countdown. And Elvis just not, loves to camp, obviously, but in this case, the problem was not getting a good look at that fade. Now, it could be trying to keep, look at this, if you look at Elvis's side of things, trying to keep the ambassador in frame, a little bit vulnerable to a bug from Alice in particular. Maybe that's why Elvis isn't zooming in on that list. I don't know. But if you're zooming in on that list, then you make the deliberation. And if you can conclude accurately that fade is green, look at the situation. There's a highlight right next to him and no one else highlight nearby. Right. So if you get that fade, you're almost certainly going to shoot the spy.
All right. Well, it's 1-1 after all that. Elvis stepping back into the spy shoes. Scallions behind the rifle. Let's get into the next one in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
When and where to zoom is a very big decision, especially for a camping sniper.
Oh, hi, Bug. Hello. Yep, Scally. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, you can stop giving us whiplash now, Scallions. He's not going to shoot yet because maybe he wants to wait for some confirmation. Like, he's clearly tunneling.
What is the point of this? What is the point of this? Look, I understand waiting for confirmation. That's good. That's smart. Why is this expecting your game to get casted and you want the casters to know you know? I guess, but it's a competitive match and it's early. Isn't the main reason to wait at this point, not just to be sure, but you already are, but isn't the idea there to specifically make them wonder afterwards what they got caught for?
It might well be.
But if you wanted to do that, you wouldn't do this. So this is just
Yeah.
mind gaming. I guess this is just messing with him. You know, I don't know, being cheeky maybe.
Well, we got the second flirt up to 68%. We got the one fingerprint. It's not gonna matter. As soon as Elvisnake does anything that can confirm, he just immediately dies.
Yeah, there's really nothing else to talk about except, you know, seizures. Here we go.
Yeah. Yep.
Even zoomed in all the way to make sure that the bullet penetrated as much as possible. I think that's how that works, right?
Sure, we'll go with that. On to the next one.
Wait, before we go,
Scallions
wait, before we go to the next one,
Okay.
can we just call that flicking the safety on and off? Can we call that the safety dance?
You can if you want to.
No, we're
but
calling
you're
that
gonna
the safety dance.
You're
That's
gonna
the-
leave more than a few of
No,
your friends
that-
behind.
No,
is
that's
the
I'm
least-
sorry, that's official SpyParty terminology now.
That
It's
is
the safety
least
dance.
Safe safety dance I've ever seen.
It's the safety dance. I'm not hearing anything
In
different.
3, 2, 1, playing it.
You're no friend of mine.
Go put a hat on.
Go for the.
All
Bam.
right, Scallions on the spy side. Elvisnake on the sniper. Scallions with a chance to go up in the match here.
And suddenly, very chill. Nothing has happened yet.
Yep. Nice slow start.
Well,
Get that early flirt, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
let's say not so nice now. 30 seconds off the
Yeah.
clock. 0 to show for it.
Would have been nice if we could have gotten a reverse drive-by bug there, but was not to be. Just stepping in for the first flirt. It is a green test, so at least we got that going for us, but slow going.
Well, you know, that actually could make up. That could make up for lost time. If you hit a second
Well,
one, suddenly you're
I mean,
back
we
where you
got
started.
we got the early time ad, so we can afford to take this a bit slowly.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you have it, you might as well spend it. Interesting
is-
decision
this
to
is
go to
very
statues
true.
at this point.
Yeah. Usually you wait a little bit longer on this, but
Oh, we should mention, by the way, Scallions playing Orange Sari is significant. Scallions, one of the few higher level players who still very concerned with orange dress meta, mind game type stuff. That explains, by the way, some of the seizure-inducing camera work you saw earlier. I said maybe it's just like a psych-out mind game thing. Well, it probably is. With Scallions, you have to kind of assume that it is. There's a lot of mind gaming stuff. Would they pick orange dress? Would they not pick orange dress? Would they pick orange dress 4 times in a row? Would they pick orange dress while wearing a hat on second Tuesdays in September? All that stuff. That's what Scallions is about.
so we've got 2 inspects done. We've got 2 flirts done. We're up to 82% on that. Fake contact, interestingly enough, lets off a bunch of lowlights. And then we're
Actually-
going back into the statues we've already been to.
So here's the thing. This actually ties into. I said earlier I was a little surprised to see Scallions going to statues. It actually makes sense while playing the crazy orange dress mind games because everyone knows this about Scallions. Orange dress is going to be watched anyway, so it actually makes certain moves like this, like unnecessary statue visits and things like that, a little more viable because you know the
And-
sniper's going to see them and might low-light you.
Did you see that? Waiting a little bit longer than usual to leave the statue to wait for the sniper to come around, so he was confirmed to be seen there.
Yes. So at this point, if you're playing against Scallions, you know orange dress is going to be zoomed in on way. So the question is, what do you do with that? You're not going to hide. You're going to get seen at statues. Are you going to try to finish or not? In this case, it looks like Scallions kind of trying to split the difference, leave themselves some options here to maybe finish.
Yeah. We've got the 2 missions done. We've got another time ad on board. We've got 1 fingerprint. And look at this! Scallions knows that Elvisnake doesn't look for time ads. He's ignoring these action tests.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you can make an argument whether or not pure camping should care about action time ads or not. In this case, I think you need to be able to catch them sometime.
Yeah. Oh, that's a red test. That's red. It's the cough. There it is. Doesn't know. Just
Was not seen.
Low lights. Two low lights.
Just takes the low lights. Those are the only perfectly safe low lights from the perspective. Teal was a likely low light, but could not be sure. On the other side of the map.
Elvisnake taking things conservative with these low lights.
Oh, we're gonna go briefcase for the win.
It looks like it. There it is.
Orange dress late in the game picks up the briefcase with less than 20 seconds. This is rough.
Gets the fingerprint, is on the way to return it. Very slow character.
No bullet yet. Wow, it's gonna work.
I think if there was going to be a bullet, I think Elvisnake was waiting to see what the briefcase was going to be like. Elvisnake says he had no idea the second statue visit was a print, so that's why the shot didn't come off.
Well,
Just getting the print off the second statue visit, and Elvis didn't realize.
So this is the tricky part. You know, what do you do with these fingerprints? They are hard to track, you know, particularly if drink fingerprints in particular, statues a little less so, maybe if there's a big gap. So what do you do when you know for sure they have one fingerprint? How confident are you that you didn't miss the other? Pretty hard to be confident unless you're making a specific point to track them. In that situation, it is not unreasonable to say, you know what? I think I missed one. Everything else about this looks like a spy finishing their missions. Do you take the shot? And if you're a camper, and if you're basically a pure camper, you need to have a very good sense of your own abilities in that moment. You need to self-assess and say, how likely is it that I missed one? And take a shot correspondingly. Elvisnake, by the way, last season only gave up 5 mission wins as sniper all year, 3 of them on this very map. And one of them was to Scallions.
And now Scallions goes up 3-1 off of this first map. As we head into the next, it's Library. That's your cue.
Yeah, we're there. I'm ready.
Well, I thought 3, 2, 1, I think.
Yeah. See,
okay,
now it's officially the safety dance because of that.
It's really not. You literally made an enemy of the entire chat.
Oh, no. I want to say simultaneously that I think it's a great pun and also boo.
Yeah.
Both are true simultaneously.
All right, so Library, large map. You can only see a third of it at a time, which makes for some hilarious spy shenaniganry. And on top of that, we're playing as Smallman in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Listen, guys, you're all talking about the orange dress meta stuff, the mind games. Here's the little secret. Just pretend it doesn't exist. Just play normal.
Unless you're Scallions.
Some universe brain right there.
Yeah, that the universe brain it should just be a picture of just a normal brain. It's just the first solution to this is don't play along. The mind games only work if you play them. The only way to win is not to play.
So you can see the Elvis shake coming out on that failed bug attempt. It wasn't seen at all, I don't think, so came off completely clean, but we did get the shake still. Compensates for it by picking up a fingerprint off the top of the game. Nice little pass to the center of conversation. AI will try to avoid that when possible, but that, I believe, was a situation where they would do it.
Yeah, I like that early fingerprint, too. We mentioned before in Library, you know, you can get away with the one briefcase, and then, you know, there's going to be so many other opportunities, and they can still credit you for the second one, but it's a little harder when you don't see it. I like getting that out of the way early.
Oh, that was a white swap. That was a white swap. He just swapped it. He just did the thing. Does he know? I think he sees it now. Scallions is I'm a little bit unsure what's going on, but we're gonna flirt. We flirted. We're at 68 now. There's the contact stepping into the statues on the far side. That's so nice.
That was a really good contact. I'm shocked at how few people were at a conversation there.
Gets highlight for center statues, but look how clean this has been. Oh, only gets two of them, though. Now that you've hit those green tests on the first two. So gets a fingerprint and the last inspect on the statue here. Look at this. It's just going to step back into conversation with the selection target and just right-click and win.
What I'm really shocked by here, I'm watching on the sniper cam, I'm shocked by how little time Elvis has spent on camera. Hardly at all. Just not looking. Just looking somewhere else. Guarding Ambassador really closely, I think.
That was one of the cleanest games of SpyParty I've seen as a spy.
Yeah, and again, now I'm not sure why. Part of it is Elvis just playing a really solid game for sure, but there was a weird thing going on where Scallions was just never looking on that side of the map for whatever reason, just not concerned with it. Maybe really concerned with the Ambassador is my best guess, because the Ambassador spent most of the game on the other side of the map, and Scallions just looked away, and Elvis was just...
this is what happened! This is what that's why he didn't die! Look at when the swap comes off, the sniper swings over, but Smallman...
He doesn't see him behind the thing, right?
Right? Carlos, there's this giant-ass hat going on.
So good.
Yeah, so you can kind of see Smallman at the statues just through that little gap between
Telestrate that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Please. But then I want to point something out. So if we fast forward a little bit, so the swap happens, we look away, we look back, and the hat. Whoops, I forgot to pause it there. And Tex's hat is still there, so you can't actually see unless you tilt the camera.
Yeah, you could see the
that gets a frowny face,
and that is it. So you've heard the phrase "wasn't seen at statues." Usually, what they mean is you get out before they ever look over. Like a one-sided courtyard, they don't rotate. What they don't usually mean is they were looking at that part of the map while you were at statues, but a guy with a big-ass hat was blocking your entire body.
I was so sure that he was just super dead, but
yeah,
apparently when you have a large enough hat in front of you, you can get away with anything.
We have the world's first not seen at statues while you were on camera at statues.
Just like if you tilt the camera just a little bit, you can see that the statue swaps. So remember, the Q and E, not just for the health. They're actually very, very extremely useful on this map. But anyway, enough of me. Back to you guys.
Let's get this next one underway. Scallions on the spy side, looking to maintain his lead. Elvis on the sniper, looking to equalize. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
People like to joke about microtransactions in SpyParty, buying hats for the spy. After seeing that game, I'm a believer.
Yeah. All right. Scallions sidling up to... Oh, no, but selection target steps away before the flirt can come off, so that's unfortunate.
Starting very slow here. Not playing as Orange Dress.
Yet she is still an important character at the party.
Yeah, nothing is happening. This is as quiet as an actual library right now. When we said library, we meant...
we need to, like, just on this map, just not
Whisper.
have the background chatter going on.
Or, I don't know if you can handle this. Don't yell, just whisper. I don't know. We now take you to live footage of an actual library in progress. People quietly...
Okay, so stepping out with the yellow book, running all the way over to the blue side to start picking up a flirt here. Probably going to return it to green as if it was going back in that direction.
I mean, I guess Scallions is trying to do the same thing as before, make a little bit of progress, give yourself an option later. I still think we're going to be looking at a time ad if there's going to be a mission completion.
Yeah, this was such an incredibly slow start. 2 minutes left to play. Not a single completion yet. We do have No, we're just gonna put this back right up blue. Oh, no, we're not.
All over it. Wow.
No, we're not. That's not where that goes.
I'm very impressed. That
Yeah.
was a very patient microfilm. Elvis, all that, the camping school is really paying off, kid. He remembers where that book comes from, all over it.
And that is enough to equalize the set on the first half of Library.
That's a really big win. If you're Elvis, you're really happy with how this turned out. There were some really weird games in there that you'd probably want back, but none the worse for wear, all tied up.
And now he steps into the spy side, and Scallions on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, there are a couple other things Chad is pointing out, and they are certainly right, that kind of tipped him off, like about the putback speed and things like that. Whatever it was, could have been a few different things, just all over it. And if you're Scallions, it's very demoralizing to do very little and still get shot.
Walking bug attempt on the way through does not take, although it was pretty clean either way, so it was worth a shot.
I would say some of my most demoralizing games are where I barely do anything and still die. You know, I flirted, I've done the banana bread, and that's it. I don't even do the hardtail, and I still get shot. And you think, boy, are they just onto me? Are they just in tune with me? That does happen.
Center statue gets a flirt, is not going to be able to get all 3 inspects. Only gets 1, in fact.
Well, so it's not great, but if you're not going to get all 3 anyway, not a big difference. Either way, you got to go back.
Banana bread.
There's the contact coming off. And the green purloin on the way out as well. I think that was really clean.
It was not seen. The only thing Scallion saw when swinging back over was that Queen was walking away from the general area. That's all.
There's the purloin coming off. It's going to be almost guaranteed a shot.
There was a big camera shake. Camera shake was crazy after that went off. Saw Queen walk away. The question is, what conclusion do you draw from that if you're Scallions? Sometimes that's enough. If you see someone walk away from an area and the purloin goes off a second later, not unreasonable to infer that that could be the spy.
Also, not unlikely at all that he totally didn't notice Queen walking away from that.
That's right. Yeah, this is actually, we're in a very bad position here as casters now. A lot of different things could be happening for Scallion. But given how closely Scallions was watching the ambassador just now on their end, I just don't think that they suspect Queen that much.
Yeah, I think Elvis got away with that completely clean, and it's going to make Scallions jumpy.
Yeah, well, jumpier, I should say, at least as the camera work is concerned. We go from maybe messing with people with the seizure-inducing cam before to the frustrated cam shake.
This is usually something you see from Elvis to the point where we call it the Elvis shake.
Yeah, the Elvis shake, yes. I can't remember the last time a sniper showed us this much personality through a replay.
Close green on the next flirt, so 81% now. We have yellow book in hand, but are just putting it back innocently.
I think that actually, I don't know if the decision makes sense from Elvis's perspective, but from ours it sure does, because right now it really feels like Scallions feels behind and is going to feel obligated to shoot somebody soon. Morgan at center statues as tempting. At this point, if you're Scallions and you think I really genuinely have no idea who took that, you knew the take was from Seek. That's about all you know. You just might not be at all confident. You could think literally anyone could have purloined. That was Scallions was not looking, by the way. Scallions pulled away.
That bug was really pretty, even though it didn't have to be.
It didn't have to be. It could have been ugly because Scallions was looking away, jumping around, but it was still beautiful.
There's the last inspects that he needs. 40 seconds left to play. 1 flirt to do it, but the second target is on the other side of the map. If the ST starts moving now, this could get bad.
I think Elvis is still in really good shape, but I just don't think you want to chase the statues here.
Look at statues.
I don't know.
We're gonna hit the flirt before we pick up, but he didn't see it.
Just got it.
Looking at the other end of the map, that's so clean.
But it's so risky. Another statue visit late looks so much like a late swap. You want to put it down and get out of the way to show them it's not. Doesn't matter.
I really don't think Elvis had that much heat on him at the end there.
It was pretty surprising. I just don't think suspected for that purloin. I think that's what it was. You know, you can't tell. Right, you can't tell right away how suspicious Scallions is there. I think in retrospect, that camera shake, it was just crap. I have no idea who did that.
Yeah. was worried about Seek for the Purloin, which is good because I believe Seek was the
taker,
green
yeah.
test victim.
Yes. So
But
look at
just didn't know.
now 2 really strong wins on Library
Yeah.
from Elvis. Those were both really, really solidly well played. I mean, obviously there are things he could have been caught for, but he just really minimized his exposure every time. I was impressed by 2 different things. First, the actual decision making was very strong throughout, and the execution was almost as good. That's when a spy wins, is when the decision making is top notch and the execution carries it out perfect.
And now suddenly Elvis has a lead stepping into the sniper side of the last game of Library. Scallions on the spy. I'm really bad at that. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
The old spy shoes.
I keep saying you've got the wrong person on spy and the wrong person on sniper, or I'll say they're both on sniper somehow. I keep screwing up that intro.
That's okay. I want to remind everyone, though, Scallions is the one who picked Library here.
Also Smallman.
Also Smallman.
Also Smallman. We've seen the power of Smallman already.
Yes. I hate to put my thumb on the scale, but if you're playing Elvisnake in the next few weeks, wouldn't be ridiculous to consider banning Library. And if they don't, Elvis, I wouldn't blame you for picking it, man. You might not have picked it this week, but man, are you killing on it.
Yeah. All right. Slow start from Scallions, and he knows it, so time ad.
Yeah,
At
you might
the back window.
You might as well have that phrase on your
Another time ad.
On your audio clipboard. Slow start.
Another time ad. What is happening right now?
He's playing Smallman semi behind the pillar at the back window for time ads. He's just going to exploit this until Elvis makes him pay.
Please.
Just
Seduction Target does not like all these time ads.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You can do this. You know, you can let someone get away with a bunch of time ads if your game is hardtails. You know, obviously there's a mental stamina issue, but you can just camp those all day, and the time ads don't help as much as they would with a more behavioral game. But you need to catch them every now and then, just enough to keep them honest. They can't be free. They can be cheap. They just can't be free.
Yeah. All right, so 3 time ads early on. Lots of room to work with here when you're Scallions. Oh, wow. A little bit of a safety flick on Pencil Stash, I believe.
I think it was
I'm not
General.
saying it, Hummus. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
He refuses to dance? I won't dance, don't ask me.
First flirt comes off, 34%. Never mind, that was not on Pencil Stash. That was on
General, yeah.
Yeah.
So all those time ads, we're still at 34% in the flirt and nothing else is happening.
Yeah. Using your time ads.
Sort of. Sort of. I guess that's one way. Here's the question. Can you make the sniper paranoid by just stretching the game out really, really long? I think against a lot of snipers that could work. Against someone like Elvis, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised at just how slow Scallions is playing this. We're already back down to 3 minutes and 15. Bug? No. No bug.
I mean, if I had an extra 2 minutes, I would be inclined to say, you know, get some flirts done. Maybe get like super cheap fingerprints. Like I'd give myself time to try multiple hard fingerprints or something like that.
Yeah. But just give it something and gets highlight for side statues.
And no one with a giant hat in front of him. Why even go then?
I feel like Scallions had Elvis's number on the start of this game, knows he doesn't catch the time ads, so does this stuff, but then doesn't really use it. Like, now he's in a little bit of a precarious situation on the clock.
Yeah, now he's running behind. Despite 3
Nice bug, though.
That'll help. But you have to do so many missions on Library, that doesn't vault him to a lead the way getting away a bug would on something like Courtyard necessarily with a bit of time left.
Yeah.
He's still got to keep moving right here.
2 minutes and 15, and that's the only completion so far.
And you don't have a great character for the inspect swap late either.
This is true.
No fingerprints to get that started, and the seduce still only a third of the way done, except for right here. This will help.
Hits a green test on it, up to 85% now.
Look at all these highlights.
Flirt will finish this up.
So many
Worst
highlights.
possible flirt in the game is 17%, and 17 plus 85 is at the very least 100, often more.
Often more. Using the art of mathematics. There's way too many highlights right now. At this point, Scallions, the slow play might pay off in that sense. That might be what he's thinking, by the way, against a hard camper or highlights for statue visits. Maybe he's thinking with these time ads, everyone will go to statues at some point.
Indeed.
But Elvis knows this, and even a good camper can occasionally say, my highlights are out of control. I'm going to make a dramatic decision about them if I have to.
Yeah.
At that point, it comes down to
Contact
memory.
coming off. Couple of lowlights.
Yeah, and bumps a highlight down to a neutral light. I wonder if that was deliberate or if he's just saying, well, I'm not going to assume fake, but I am going to give him a little credit if it is.
Ooh, lots of lowlights now.
Now, some of those were a little speculative. Those were reasonable
Yeah.
inferences, saying I don't think they were in conversation, but he wasn't actually looking at the time, whether or not they were.
Indeed, indeed. Here comes the last inspects, and there's the green swap at the end of it. 35 seconds left for someone to take that and swap it out.
And he is at the same statue, the one with the occlusion. I was going to say earlier, swap with this character, but unless you're confident you can hit the green, I guess. But Walt, a highlight picking up the statue for him, that's trouble.
This is done. This is done. It's done.
He sees it. He's got to decide right now.
He doesn't know, and it's already too late.
Look at this. He zooms in and sees it just before. He sees it with 2.5 seconds left on the clock, and you could see him zoom out and stop moving, and you could almost hear the gears grinding. Who's there? Who do I shoot? But by then it's over. I think if he had 4 or 5 more seconds, he might have gotten it. I don't know.
It may have been, but this time it wasn't to be. And now we are tied at 4 going into the singles. It's Ballroom that's going to be first on the chopping block as Elvis steps into the spy side of things. Scallions on the sniper. Let's see if anyone can come out to a lead here. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I feel like you could almost hear that moment where Scallions decided, okay, this slow play stuff is not working anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get missions done. And that's when he walked across the map, bugged the ambassador, and from there it was progress.
49%. This can still be a 2 flirt.
This can still work. This can still work. We're good. We're good. Don't worry. Breathe, Tobo. It's okay. Unless he's 1 pixel short. We've seen 49% become 99s because the spy did not get quite close enough.
This is true. I even called a couple out last week.
I remember. It was Alice. It was on Pub.
Oh
and it
no!
was so bad.
Don't tell me.
Don't do it. You're not close enough. Don't. Oh God.
Don't. Oh no! He even hit the green.
Well, in this case, it's so early. I think Elvis was okay with it. He's thinking, you know what? I'm just going to get into range, and now any flirt will do it, and then I'll go make progress.
But he just could have gone to the other side, though.
Yeah.
You just could have gone around, and then you'd be done. It hurts. Oh boy. All right. Okay. All right. It's fine. It's fine. Still have 2 minutes and 15. It's fine. Contact comes off. No reaction. Literally no reaction from Scallions.
I think the cursor twitched a little. If that counts, that's about it.
1 low light.
Tobo, you are the world's most frustrated wingman. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
It's not your fault. I like this. I like this position right here with the seduce done, contact done, 1 fingerprint done, and maybe not suspected, and 1:40 left. This is solid. This is a good position. You can get the fingerprints, and you can take your time deciding whether or not you want to do a hardtail, and if so, when.
This is strong. Side statue, you don't need to inspect.
Oh, I know what this is. He wants to get the fingerprint right now and get the inspects done at the adjacent statue? No. We saw Elvis do the statue twitch earlier.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to go to the statue right next to it right after and finish right then. With more than a minute left, that's hard
I
to
think
shoot
he's
for.
going back now. Yeah, just adding a little bit of delay in this time. That feels a little bit more suspect, actually.
I think it might be. It's certainly not much less suspicious, I don't think. It happens so quick and there's so few highlights.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to work here.
I think so.
I just don't see a shot here.
Effects, we've got the fingerprint. It's so hard to shoot for this.
It really is. You have to, and I don't think the first fingerprint was even seen. Just solid.
Elvisnake getting it done. Man, this man is playing out of his mind tonight.
Yeah, and didn't have to get a lot of luck from the party. You know, it was nice, obviously, to get that Amba print, but it was actually kind of unlucky because if the print had gone to the center statue before he'd visited statues, he could have done it in one visit.
Yeah.
Now, granted, a first visit to statues at center statues on Ballroom is actually much more suspicious than the second, potentially, unless you're monitoring the fingerprint too, in which case, oh my goodness, someone who visited side statues goes back for a fingerprintable statue to finish. I think at that point, you just have to conclude that Scallions was not very concerned with fingerprint.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that's a very tempting. And at the very least, we get some of that crazy seizure camera work to show us how conflicted they were, at minimum.
All right, so Elvisnake making it happen. Let's see if he can find another win on Ballroom on the sniper side. He is already guaranteed at least a draw. Let's see what happens here as Scallions picks up the spy shoes and the spy cane in 3, 2, 1, playing it. The cane, though. Come on.
Cane. That cane, though.
Starting things off slow. Selection target was not in a great position to be seduced early on, and is still not. So that's a thing.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Normally, you'd love to flirt there too next to them, but yeah.
Indeed.
Wouldn't be too bad either, being one of 3 people at statues. I would have been pretty tempted if it were me, but Scallions, as we've established, plays it slow up front most of the time.
Oh, so are we really doing this right now? Okay, it's just a fingerprint.
You're good. Now,
seriously, though, come on, selection target, be a pal.
What's funny, though, is Scallions only timed out once last season, all year. That's a 2.78% timeout rate as spy. I think because, decides to do something late in the game, but it was on Ballroom, albeit the old one.
You know what else is funny about this game? Orange Sorry is cast as the seduction target again.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot.
Yeah, it's Scallions, even when not playing Orange Dress, still part of the mind games.
Indeed. 2 minutes left to play. We've got 51% on the first flirt, and that's the first anything that's occurred in this game so far as the spy is concerned. Fake contact into green.
And bug.
Purloin into walking cane bug at the back of the party into fingerprint.
That's a lot. The second one doesn't matter.
Into a bad shot.
Well,
Scallions!
it was the
my God, man!
It was the green purloin taker. So Elvis, I mentioned earlier when Elvis mistakenly shot Papa Danger instead of the green purloiner Taft on Courtyard. I mentioned that Elvis had not zoomed in at the time to look at the fade. Does not actually make that mistake this time, looking very closely. But if you look at it from his side, it's just really, really hard to see the fade. Toby moves the tray around behind General's head. It's Ballroom. It's going to happen. At most, you could narrow it down. But here's the thing. Based on how quick that shot was, I don't even think the reject was really seen. I don't think that
was such a sweet series of events. We've got the fake contact to distract from the green purloin reject, immediately bails, hits that beautiful walking bug at the back of the conversation, fingerprint at the bookcase, the seduce before it all. God, that was so pretty.
Yeah, the green purloin was all that was necessary, though, as it turned out. Here's what's really interesting to me about that. So Boots walks off with the drink, which is a very white purloin thing to do. right away, for sure. But if it's a white purloin thing to do, normally you keep your cursor on the other side of the map, wait and see if they gulp at least to make your decision a little easier, unless you have reason to believe they could be done. For example, they have a statue highlight. In this case, Boots does not have a statue highlight. So I'm a little surprised that he didn't wait at least to see whether or not they gulped before doing it. But, less than 2 minutes
I'm
left.
gonna say if you missed the reject because of the fake contact, and you think, like, someone took right before her and then she takes and it fades, you've got no reason to wait.
Well, no, I'm saying if you think that was a white purloin, and he obviously must have thought it was a white purloin because he saw her take and walk away, but he also hasn't been to statues yet. So the question is, do you need to shoot there? If you're assuming it's a white purloin, if you're assuming it's her, she also hasn't been to statues.
I know we keep saying, like, how important it is to wait and confirm, and this kind of stuff is why, but when you think you've caught somebody, it is so hard not to just shoot because you're relieved.
Oh, right. So the wave of relief, even just for the game being over, even if you're wrong, is something. And it's entirely possible that Elvis, even though he knows she hasn't been to statues, it's entirely possible he's just like, you know what, maybe I missed a bug. Who knows? Because he did, not from her. That's certainly true. I'm definitely not saying it was a bad shot, but it is interesting to me that he did not wait for the gulp possible confirmation there. Must have been
at 5 heading into the last map. It's going to be Veranda to finish it out. Big old map. Lots of interesting situations for the spy to get into. We've got the 2 bookcases right next to each other for cheese possibilities. We've got some shenanigans going on at the far end of the map by the blue bookcase that are available. This is always a fun one to cast. Starting things off with Elvis on the spy and Scallions on the sniper in the last match of the set. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Let's find out if snakes like cheese. I have no idea. Now, you'd wonder, would this play similar for someone like Elvis? He did so well on Library. In some senses, a similar map. In other senses, a very, very dissimilar map. Certainly feels different.
Bug off the top! Unseen by the laser because he was checking the blue side and it was behind a wall.
Yep.
Yes! Elvis! Yes, that was awesome!
Well, it's certainly a good start. I will say that I don't know if the execution is going to be the same as it is on Library, because again, the dynamic is so different with the sniper seeing so much more potentially at any one moment. But I think the decision making that Elvis displayed on Library, which was so solid, would carry over pretty well here, because it's all about pacing.
God, what a start. We got the bug. We got 34% on the flirt. We got the contact just now with 1 low light. 2 low lights now. Fingerprint on the book as we step away with it. Look how fast this is.
A lot of motion here. If the Amba cooperates just a little bit and gives him like another quick fingerprint, this game could be over real fast without a lot of suspicion.
We don't even have a highlight yet. We're going in for our second flirt here. We've got 2 completions. Second close white flirt. This could be a 3rd completion if we put this back in green.
Yeah.
Oh, look! Amber's going to green! Amber's going to green! We can get a fingerprint there and the transfer at the same time. And then all we need is this last flirt.
It seems that way, but you remember, it's only after they put the book back, first of all, and he have to put
the book's back now.
But he would have to pick up another book after he puts it back in. So interesting.
That's
Look what he does. He decides not to do the microfilm because he can't do it and get the fingerprint unless he picks up the book twice. So instead, he'll put the book back safely, get the fingerprint. I like that decision. I like that.
Yeah. Oh man, the moves.
But maybe he puts the
back in.
Wait.
Back in for the flirt. Not
go
even
the other
off.
way. Maybe now he changed the plate up green into red.
Yeah. This is so cool.
This is pretty funny.
This is such a sweet game.
No, once again.
He's going to put it back for the flirt.
Right, so twice now he's thought about probably doing the microfilm one direction or the other, and twice the party hands him something where he says, you know what, I'll just put the book back and take the other thing instead. I think he might swap here.
I don't think he has to.
He doesn't have to.
But he does.
Yep.
And it's green.
I understand. He's thinking, yep, I like it. Yep. I like it.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now we just go to the other end of the map.
I think that's what you want to do, yeah.
This was such a sweet game from Elvis. Oh my god.
A low light's getting called over, and with a low light calling over, Scallions is not even going to bother to look at you. Until maybe nope. Doesn't even see it. Has no idea swap has gone off. Big win.
That game was so good. That was so good.
I mentioned earlier, I wasn't sure about the execution, but I knew that the decision making was going to be good, and it was. I like the decisions with the books. I like that he's thinking, you know what, I'm going to take this book, I'm going to dump it in green. I think that would have worked. But then he thinks, you know what, the fingerprint is safer, I'll do that. He thinks, well, how about we go the other way? No, I can finish the flirt instead. And at that point, there's a minute and a half left, and Scallions is probably generally the kind of player where you could get away with something like a swap late there. And he's thinking there's 90 seconds left, 2 statue visits late in this game. That's the kind of thing that can get you shot by a desperate sniper. I've mentioned before that there are certain things you can do where if the sniper correctly surmises that they are behind in the game, they might shoot for something desperate because it's their best shot if they're convinced they missed a lot of other stuff. So, for example, you have not seen anything on Ballroom. You're pretty sure you missed something. Someone visits center statues with less than a minute left. Bang, right? Hail Mary. But it makes sense. I think 2 statue visits late on Veranda has the same potential. And I think Elvis is thinking the same sort of thing. I don't want to take my chances with that. Let's just get this done now.
Oh man, our first match of the night was pretty epic partly because of the storylines that happened throughout that set. This set is goddamn fireworks start to finish, and we still got one more game. Elvisnake playing for the win on the sniper side of Veranda. Scallions for a draw on the spy side in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And let me see. Orange dress, not the spy, not a seduction target, just a cast.
All right. 3 minutes and 45 on the clock, and already a purloin is white! Oh, God!
Big trouble.
Oh, God! Oh, God! He knows. Yeah, he doesn't see it yet. I don't think he's seen it yet.
He's trying to. I think he's basically on it, though. I think he's going to have this narrowed down.
I think he has it down to 2. As soon as he sees this damn tray, Toby, please.
He's trying.
Toby,
this is brutal.
Toby, please. Toby. Toby, please. 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 Okay,
Tobias.
3 then.
Tobias, full name to get his attention.
We got 3. It's down to 3. Nope, it's down to Scallions. And Elvisnake takes the set in spectacular fashion.
I really like it. And, you know, one of the really funny things there about that purloin, I'm looking at it now again. Waiter offers the drink. Let's see. It's right at 3:45. He decides to do it just as the seduction target enters next to him. Gave him a nice, cheap, free flirt early in the game. I feel like if that happens 2 seconds earlier, maybe you think, well, the party's given me a little something. Maybe I don't have to rush this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had games where I want to play a nice, normal game, and then the ST leaves twice before flirts, and I think, you know what? Not meant to be. I've already wasted too much time. Let's do something aggressive, and vice versa. I'll think I want to do something aggressive, but then if a couple fingerprints show up, the ST walks up to me once, maybe the DA enters, and then I think, well, this changes things a little bit. But in this case, you know, maybe made up his mind a little early to do it, and Elvis just all over it.
And you know what we got next, Track? We got Slappy Davis versus Drawn Onward next.
Oh, my.
Oh my God, I don't know if I can take much more to this.
I mean, is it weird to hope for a match that isn't as close?
No, it's not weird, but I'm going to actually put up the loading game screen while we... That's right. That's right, Elvisnake, because it felt right. That's why you shoot these days. All right. So, yes, as you say, we have Slappy Davis v. Drawn Onward.